We're back to the technical world of CSS3. Now, unfortunately, CSS does not support variables. Maybe in the future, maybe in CSS4, just like that, I'll be able to update it to a different number so I won't have to edit the video. So in the future, there might be a way to create variables. Currently, there isn't. And how do we solve that problem? We don't. There's no way for us to create dynamic colors in CSS currently. Although there is one variable, and only one variable. It's called currentColor. It is incredibly cool, incredibly useful, not as useful as it could have been if we had complete control, complete variables, but hopefully there will be in the future. For now, there's only currentColor. Let's see it in action. It is so cool. Very hard to figure out exactly how to work with it, so I'm throwing it back at you. Come up with a few good solutions. How would you use the currentColor? I would love to hear about that. So let's get started. Let's see what it is, and then we'll figure it out. What we're bound to learn right now is just incredibly powerful. We're talking about working with the currentColor. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just show it to you, but it is so powerful and so impressive. The currentColor enables us to basically take whatever the currentColor is and then use it in other places. For example, let's find a place where we might want to set that color to be our color. How about we go to our footer and we set our footer color to be based on the currentColor? Or how about we make it, instead of going directly to the color, how about we go to the background of the footer? So let me find the footer's background. Here we go. So background color, I'm going to go ahead and just type here currentColor instead of actually putting inside a color. By doing that, if I go ahead and click on refresh, we'll see that now our background is going to be basically the color of the currentColor, which obviously does not work here because our currentColor is actually going to make our color disappear. So it does not really work really well for us. But what we could do is, instead of that, for example, I'm just going to revert that back to what it was. I'm going to go to line 40 in my CSS, where I'll find here basically my section and boxes. Those boxes are basically those floating boxes that we were working for when we were creating our CSS, our color manipulations. I'm going to go ahead and change those color manipulations, and instead of that, and on top of that, what I want to do is I'm going to add here basically a border. So I'm going to go ahead and set a border, and I'm going to set that border color. I'm going to set that border color to be currentColor. And I'm going to go ahead just to style it a little bit. I'm going to continue and set my border style, and I'll just set the style to be dotted. And let's also do a few more things. Let's set a border width. Let's set that width to be 3 pixels. I'm going to go ahead and also use the CSS3 border radius. And I'm going to set it to be, I'm going to set it to be 25 pixels. And last but not least, I'm going to go ahead and add a margin to our elements so they have a little bit of a margin. And as we're floating them to the left, I'm going to go ahead and add here a margin towards the left as well of maybe 15 pixels. I'm going to go ahead and save and then refresh my item, and we'll see something really cool. The color itself of my border reflects the color of our copy. Not only that, if I go ahead and change the copy, automatically I'm going to be changing the border color as well. Wickedly cool, very, very awesome, and very, very useful in a scenario where you want to use that color in different combinations. Maybe in different places you want it to be the background, or you want to add a few things without re-echoing that same color over and over. Now that really opens the door to variables in general in CSS. Unfortunately, not supported currently in CSS3, but we're hoping maybe CSS4 will add some primitive variables, enabling us to basically duplicate colors and have basically a color theme above, and then have it basically work throughout our CSS without needing to manually put colors all over. Imagine that in most sites we want to have only 3, 4, maybe 5 different colors. It'd be wonderful if we could set 4 or 5 different variables and then set them throughout our site. Unfortunately, we can't do that right now. We have to hard code those values. But that is probably what's going to come in CSS4. If I would have to imagine what would be the big thing that would be added from a functionality perspective, because that would be massive and would make pages work a lot smoother in my perspective. It would make it easier to create really dynamic things. So that's it. That's it for this lecture. That's it for currentColor.